Hello, welcome to this video which is named as Introduction to VLSI. So in this the objective is to introduce VLSI design, IC integration and scope of VLSI. The contents which I am going to cover in this particular video are integrated circuits, which are nothing but many transistors on one chip, and very large scale integration, which is nothing but bucket loads, and complementary metal oxide semiconductor, why it is used, because fast, cheap, low power transistors. And then today how to build your own simple CMOS chip using CMOS transistors and building logic gates from transistors, and transistor layout and fabrication. And in this particular unit 1 you will be looking at how to build a good CMOS chip. So what is ASIC design flow? ASIC design flow consists of front-end process and back-end process. So whenever you are trying to make out a VLSI chip, first in the front end we give the specifications which are called as design specification, followed by the description which is called as behavioral description, which will be writing using the hardware description languages, and that even can be written in RTL, that is register transfer level description. And then the HDL program, which is written either in behavioral description or RTL description, will be verified using functional verification and testing, which is called as simulation. And then the simulated code is then synthesized using logic synthesis. So after the logic synthesis, the output of this will be coming out to be a gate level netlist. So the list of the components or the list of the things which are used for fabricating an IC will be coming out as a list which is called as a netlist. So generally the list which comes out will be as a list of components or list of logic gates. So this we term it as gate level netlist. And then these group of components which are generated by the synthesizer are again verified and tested, and then they are to be placed properly. So in order to place properly, floor planning is must. So we need to map the floor. What is the floor? Floor is the area on the IC where we are going to fabricate our design on the IC. So this floor which is already present has to be planned properly, and then using the automatic tools which will place and route automatically will be done by the automatic place and routing. And then after placing and routing, the layout of this will be done again by the tools, CAD tools. So physical layout will be generated, and this physical layout is verified and then implemented in the fabs which are given to the fabrication process. So this is all about the simple ASIC design flow or VLSI IC design flow. So in short, VLSI IC design flow consists of front end and back end process. Front end is just the writing the HDL code. That HDL code has to be simulated and synthesized, and in the back end the netlist has to be verified, placing and routing, layout preparation and the layout verification, and then giving to the fabrication or fabs. So next moving on to CMOS fabrication. So CMOS is nothing but complementary metal oxide semiconductor. So CMOS transistors are fabricated on silicon wafer. Lithography process similar to printing press is done. On each step different materials are deposited or etched. It is easiest to understand by viewing both top and cross section of wafer in simplified manufacturing process. So these are the detailed masks which are to be used. There are 6 masks. So you can see here the masks which are used are N-well, polysilicon, N plus diffusion, P plus diffusion, contact and metal. So all these on the right hand side you can see their coloring as well as the mask, how they will be implemented, are shown here on the right hand side. So in the fabrication, how does it takes place? So you can see the fabrications are large rooms. So chips are built in huge factories which are called as fabs. It's contain clean rooms as large as football fields. So the cleanliness is more important in fabrication. So they are maintained cleanly. So this is one picture which is depicting a large, huge factory. So now let's move on to the fabrication steps. Actually, CMOS fabrication steps are basically categorized into three categories: N-well process, twin tub process, and silicon on insulation process. So amongst here which I am showing you is N-well process. N-well, twin tub and SOI. So among that I will be depicting you or showing you in this video the N-well process. So let's move on to the fabrication steps. So the fabrication steps start with a blank wafer. So the blank wafer here is taken. So we need to build an inverter. The basic CMOS I mean to say the complementary metal oxide semiconductor, which is made up of one single P channel MOSFET and one single N channel MOSFET, will work as an inverter. So when it is working as an inverter, then that is built as an inverter. So as I am speaking to you about the CMOS, so CMOS basically acts as an inverter. So we are now trying to build inverter from bottom up. So the first step will be to form the N-well. So the cover the wafer with protective layer of silicon dioxide, remove layer where N-well should be built, implant or diffuse N dopants into exposed wafer, then strip off the silicon dioxide. So the wafer P substrate is taken. So now growing the silicon dioxide on top of silicon wafer, which is made with temperature of 900 to 1200 degree centigrade with H2O or O2 in the oxidation furnace. So over which again we will place a photoresist layer. So spin on photoresist. Photoresist is a light sensitive organic polymer. It softens where exposed to light. So lithography, next step is the lithography. In the lithography, expose this photoresist through N-well mask. So here you can see the N-well mask is shown. Then strip off exposed photoresist. Next step is etching. Etch oxide with hydrofluoric acid, seeps through skin and eats bone. So here it takes out all the nasty stuff. It only attacks oxide where resist has been exposed. Next step is strip photoresist. Stripping off remaining photoresist layer. So use mixture of acid called Piranha H. It is necessary to resist doesn't melt in the next step, which cannot melt in the next step. So next is inserting deep N-well. So N-well is formed with diffusion or ion implantation. Diffusion is nothing but placing wafer in furnace with arsenic gas. Heat until arsenic atoms diffuse into exposed silicon. So this is how it takes place, that is imputing or diffusing or introducing these arsenic atoms deeply into the exposed silicon. And then ion implantation. Blast wafer with beam of arsenic ions. Ions blocked by silicon dioxide only enter into exposed silicon. Next step is strip the oxide layer. So strip off the remaining oxide which is present over the layer using hydrofluoric, and back to bare wafer with N-well. Subsequent steps involve similar series of steps. So next, depositing the polysilicon layer, which is a very thin layer of gate oxide. It is less than 6 to 7 atomic layers. Chemical vapor deposition takes place for silicon layer, which is in short called as CVD. Place wafer in furnace with silane gas, forms many small crystals called polysilicon, heavily doped to be good conductor. So this is polysilicon pattern. Because we have P channel MOSFET as well as N channel MOSFET, polysilicon makes the gate structure. So for both we need to give, so here you can see polysilicon is patterned so as to make both the gates, one for PMOS and one for NMOS. Self-aligned process, use oxide and masking to expose where N-place dopant should be diffused or implanted. N diffusion forms NMOS source, drain and N-well contact. N diffusion, pattern oxide and form N+ regions. Self-aligned process where gate blocks diffusion. Polysilicon is better than metal for self-aligned gates because it doesn't melt during later processing. So this is one of the advantage. So that's why we use polysilicon. Next, N+ diffusion and diffusion contacts are to be made. So historically dopants were diffused, usually ion implantation today, but regions are still called diffusion. Strip of oxide to complete patterning step. Next, P diffusion to get the P+. Similar set of steps from P+ diffusion regions for PMOS source and drain and substrate contact. Then contacts are to be taken. Now we need to wire together the devices. Cover chip with thick field oxide, etch oxide where contact cuts are needed. Then finally to take out the leads we use metal. So metallization is the last step. Sputter on aluminum over whole wafer, pattern to remove excess metal leaving wires. So these are the steps which we have seen for CMOS fabrication. So this is finally made out with the metal. You can see the leads are taken out. So a brief history, if you look at, in 1958 the first integrated circuit was developed, which was consisting of flip-flop using 2 transistors. This was built by Jack Kilby at Texas Instruments. And in the 2010 Intel Core i7 microprocessor, 2.3 billion transistors were used in this. So 64 GB flash memory was also introduced, which is consisting of greater than 16 billion transistors. So today, now in the 2020, if you look at the ICs which are fabricated are having more than these many number of transistors. So finally when I say IC is nothing but the transistor or transistor count, number of transistors which are integrated on a chip is called as the transistor count. So that transistor count has to be given in the IC. Next, growth rate, if you look at, it is 53% compound annual growth rate over 50 years. No other technology has grown so fast so long. It is driven by miniaturization of transistors. Smaller is cheaper, faster, lower in power. Revolutionary effects on society. So according to the annual sales, it is greater than 10 to 19 transistors manufactured in 2008. 1 billion for every human on the planet. So if you see the growth rate, it is growing, and even it is growing even now. So the invention of the transistors, as you all know, it was started in the year 1947, and then later on it is used, even now today it is used in all the ICs. And the transistors types, you know, it is bipolar transistors, MOSFETs, and nowadays we are using the MOSFETs. In the MOSFETs we call it as CMOS because it is low power, all very high integration. So MOS integration levels, if you look at, the MOS integration levels are generally categorized as SSI, MSI, LSI, VLSI based on the transistor count. So according to Moore's law, So the transistor count have doubled every 26 months. So his prediction became true. And that prediction, if you look at in this graph, till 1975 it was linear. Even now it is quite linear, but not so. So SSI 10 gates, MSI 1000 gates, LSI 10,000 gates, and VLSI greater than 10,000 gates. So, and now if you see the core to duo, quad, I3, I7, all, if you see, they are also having the transistor count more in number, and the transistor count also is linear, almost it is linear. And the feature size, which is minimum feature size, shrinking 30% every 2 to 3 years. So this prediction also has become true. So it is now the nanometer technology has been coming down and down and down. So corollaries, if we see, many other factors grow exponentially. So other factors like clock frequency, processor performance and all also grow together along with the transistor count. Productivity trends. So if you see, complexity outpaces design productivity. So logic transistor per chip or transistor per staff month, you can see the graph. And the scope of learning this subject, that is VLSI design, is the digital integrated circuits have come a long way and still have quite some potential left for the coming decades. Some interesting challenges ahead. Understanding the design metrics that govern digital design is crucial. The design metrics are like cost, reliability, speed, power and energy dissipation. So these are the VLSI companies in India which offers you job in VLSI. Intel, Synopsys, National Semiconductor, Sun, Xilinx, Cisco, Axiom, Cadence, Candice, Sinfora, so many companies you can take, even Siemens, Agilent. So there are so many companies which are offering VLSI jobs. So these are all VLSI companies which are doing either design part or verification part. Mostly in India we are not going with the fabrication, we don't have fabs, but design, simulation, verification and all are done in India. For fabs we need to go outside. So I hope from this video you might have understood what introduction to VLSI, you might have understood or learned what VLSI is, front end and back end design flow, CMOS fabrication steps and the scope of VLSI. Thank you for watching.